Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for December 19th. December 19th is the 353rd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 354th in leap years, with 12 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is Scrooge. Scrooge can be a noun or an adjective, and I believe I've also seen it used as a verb. Scrooge is an eponym, which means it's a word derived from someone's name, like boycott after Charles Boycott, or chauvinist after Nicholas Chauvin, or in this case, Scrooge after the fictional character Ebenezer Scrooge. By the way, this gives me some ideas for the next few days' worth of words of the day. First known use of the word Scrooge, other than the story where we meet Ebenezer Scrooge, is 1899. Scrooge. And with that, Henry II of England was crowned in Westminster Abbey on December 19th, 1154. 1154. As I read this in 2022, that's 868 years ago. Hard to feature Westminster Abbey's been standing that long, but it's actually been there even longer than that. It started out as a community of Benedictine monks in about 960. Somewhere between 1042 and 1052, King Edward the Confessor began building the abbey so he'd have a suitable place to be buried. They got it finished in 1060 and consecrated in 1065, about a week before King Edward passed away. So, sure enough, he did get to be buried there. It was rebuilt in the Gothic style in the 13th century. And since the coronation of William the Conqueror in 1066, all coronations of English and British monarchs have taken place in Westminster Abbey, along with 16 royal weddings having taken place in the Abbey since 1100. Benjamin Franklin began publishing Poor Richard's Almanack on December 19, 1732. Poor Richard's Almanack was a collection of a variety of subjects, ranging from information about the movements of the moon and stars, weather reports, historical tidbits, poems, and those adages for which Franklin became famous, like "Fish and visitors stink in 3 days." Or 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Poor Richard's Almanack became increasingly more popular every year for the quarter century that it was published. Poor Richard's Almanack was probably the 1700s version of a YouTube channel. Alrighty. Charles Dickens published A Christmas Carol on December 19, 1843. As you might know, this is the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, whom Dickens described as a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner, hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel had ever struck out generous fire. In A Christmas Carol, Scrooge learns the Christmas spirit of generosity from his 3 ghosts who show him his past, his present, and his future. This is the birthday of baseball great Al Kaline, born December 19, 1934. He played 22 seasons, all with the Detroit Tigers, earning him the nickname of Mr. Tiger. He was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame on the first ballot in 1980 and lived to the age of 85. Al Kaline. The last manned lunar flight, Apollo 17, returned to Earth on December 19, 1972. Candle in the Wind, 1997, also known as Goodbye England's Rose, along with Something About the Way You Look Tonight by Elton John, was released in September of 1997 as a tribute to Princess Diana after her shocking and untimely death in a car crash. Guinness Book of World Records says Candle in the Wind 1997 is the second highest selling physical single of all time, meaning people purchased actual media like records, CDs, or audio tapes. The first, in case you're curious, is Bing Crosby's White Christmas from 1942. Candle in the Wind 1997 is the highest selling single since charts began in the 1950s. It hit the ground running, this song did, reached Billboard's #1 spot and the Hot 100 list on October 11th of 1997 and held that spot into 1998, 14 weeks at #1. Candle in the Wind, 1997, Something About the Way You Look Tonight, #1, December 19th, 1997. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include the link to my blog page that is called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Getter. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.